Hey buddies! I'm so happy to be in here, finally. Thank you all for your patience. We had a little debacle this morning with drop off at camp. Anyways, so now we're here making super awesome, high protein, low glycemic vanilla cake. It's something that my family's been asking for a while, and I keep just avoiding doing it because it's definitely easier than every other recipe I've seen. Hey Leia! But it's still not super duper easy. It's just easy enough that I'm willing to do it, but not all the time. I make the cookies all the time because they're super easy, and this is just medium easy. So anyways, okay, so we can start right now, and that's exciting. Okay, so you want to see all my ingredients first? So I'll show them on my kind of crowded count. That's our recipe I wrote out. And of course the soap. Hey! We're not adding soap, but okay. Let's put you in your little spot. Hey, Lala! Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are so... Oh, I need the measuring cup. You guys are so awesome for being so patient. My little guy just was not having it this morning. It's his first week of camp, and it was just really hard for him. Every day was fine, but today was hard. Okay. Okay, so I like to start with the dry ingredients, and then I mix them all together and then push them to the side. I do that almost every single time that another recipe would say in a separate bowl. I'm just that's not happening. For sure not happening. Okay, so first let's do the almond flour. I got my new big bag from Costco, which was awesome. But I'll tell you guys, remember last time I went to Costco, I was so excited. They had such awesome produce for such great deals, fresh and frozen. I went last week to get this, and it was not. There was much less variety, and the produce was not that good. I was honestly a lot of it I wouldn't have bought had I known. The cherries were mediocre. The raspberries I returned even before we left the store because they were just bad. The blueberries were okay. And the watermelon was it was mushy inside, very weird. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about, but I thought I'd share it with you. But they had the good deal on the almond flour, along with 1,000 other things that I needed, like toilet paper. Anyways, okay. So we're gonna do our almond flour first, which is 3 cups. I do measure this one, again, not perfectly. I don't sift it or anything, but I do measure, because cake can be it can be a little fussy when you're using alternative flours. You know, it's still a little fussy. It's never gonna rise. The reason why I showed you the one of the double, I'm not doing the double because the double layer, meaning the picture I posted was the one that I did it with strawberries and everything. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can. We're actually gonna do a little different because my family complained that when it was double layer like that, it was too hard to eat. Every time they tried to take a bite, they just like it better with 1 layer, so I'm just gonna do 1 layer today, but you can definitely stack it if you want to make it look fancier. And then my husband, my husband has this whole theory. He says that fruit and desserts do not mix. It should be either fruit or dessert. So he said, please can I make a chocolate chip vanilla cake today instead of strawberry chocolate chips? So I said, sure. And I hope you guys don't get mad for false advertising. It's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, now we're gonna do our 1 cup of coconut flour. The benefit, someone was asking me why don't I ever use whole wheat or even the really, there's a lot of really good other alternative grains like teff, if you've ever heard of that, is a really good one. And if you're not worried about being gluten-free, a lot of people do fine on gluten. A lot don't, but a lot do. And basically for me, the reason why I use these flours and almost always keep it gluten-free is not so much that I'm anti-gluten, my husband calls it anti-glutite, as much as that these flours contain a lot of protein and fat, and they're good, and those things work really well to balance your blood sugar and help keep your blood sugar stable, in contrast to the sugar. So we're using coconut sugar, which is much lower glycemic than other sugars, but it's still a sugar. So if I just was having that, even with teff flour or whole wheat flour, the way that it would affect my blood sugar would still be much stronger if I was using like a whole wheat flour, because there's no fat or protein in that, or I mean there's a drop of protein, but there's no fat in it. And so for me, that's much more of the reason that I choose to use these flours, because then it helps to keep your blood sugar even keel. Joanna, I agree with your husband, totally. Not into the fruits inside cakes. Good call. I'm glad. It always makes me laugh because I actually like it. Like whenever we have to go somewhere and like there's pie, like I always eat the inside because I don't really like the crust, and he only likes the crust. Now the truth is he's been gluten-free for a few years, so it doesn't really happen anymore because like most places don't like happen to carry like a gluten-free pie crust, but whatever. Okay, be careful when you measure your coconut flour because it's super duper absorbent. Like this one, I mean, as you see, I'm not being crazy, but I'm definitely careful. I'm not just like, oh well, an extra bunch dumped in. It's very, very, very absorbent. Okay. What next? Okay, let's do the baking powder. Oh, I took it out already to make my life easier, but I forgot. Okay. Okay. A tablespoon baking. You know, maybe I'll use a real measuring thing. Like I said, for the sake of the cake, we'll use a real measuring thing. See, and those bananas are from Costco too. They're just like not amazing. I mean, they're fine. They're doing the job. But I wouldn't have bought them had I known. That just looks, okay, here we go. Shaky, shaky. Half a tablespoon of salt. And you know when the video's over, I'll post up front. When you do the layer cake, you double the recipe? No, I don't. I just do it in separate things. I'll tell you, the two rates, so they requested that, but the other reason is that I was going to do 2 squares, but the other one's dirty, and I was like already running late for this. So I was like, okay, we'll just do 1 layer. I mean, you could do whatever shape you want. But yeah, it's fine like that. I just like half in one and half in the other. Okay, half of salt. Now when you're making this, I also would recommend that you taste the batter as you go. Because again, like maybe if you are really sensitive to sugar, you can get away with less. Or maybe if you're like kind of new to healthy-ish baking and you're used to having like Duncan Hines and Mrs. Fields, you're gonna be like, whoa, this needs more sugar. So, you know, do what you need to do to make progress and feel good about it. You know, when I do it, I use 1.5 cups, and to me that's like totally good and my family's happy with it. But I've heard responses from some of you guys after making the cookies like, oh, I didn't need to add that much sugar. And another person was like, oh, my kids wouldn't eat it, they weren't sweet enough. So I would say just like taste as you go. Okay, 1.5 of the sugar. This I also got at Costco for a good deal. I don't remember how much now, but it was, I mean, I don't know, like $8 or something. Whereas like I feel like if I would have gotten it from Trader Joe's, it would have been like $8 for like a little bag. Okie dokie. Now I'm stirring. Can you see my bowl? Ooh, there it is. Looks pretty, right? Stirring the dry ingredients. Should I told you a little more? Or not really, it doesn't matter. Stirring the dry ingredients. I love that you guys are asking questions. Hey, Mandy. I miss you guys when you don't ask questions. I feel kind of lame, like talking to myself, but when you ask questions, then it feels cool. Because I feel like I have friends. Okay, so I'm mixing it all together, all the flours and the dry ingredients. And then, see, it's all pretty mixed together. Now I'm just pushing it to the side. To the side. There we go. See, again, not perfect. Don't need to be perfect. 6 eggs. If you're wondering, gosh, that sounds like so many eggs, Jana. It does sound like so many eggs. You're right. And that's because, right, it's a gluten-free recipe. So when you're cooking with regular grains, like wheat or most people use, I mean, mostly people use wheat, right? But barley or rye, too. All those contain gluten, and gluten is the binding agent. It's what makes everything sticks together. So anytime you're doing like gluten-free baking, you need to replace that somehow. You need to get it to stick together. So if you've ever done like a regular recipe and then you just were like, oh, I'm just gonna try replacing it with like almond flour, and then you make it and you're like, oh man, that did not work. I'll save you the suspense, it won't work. It'll like be crumbly and fall apart. Hey, Hannah! Hannah, my friend Hannah just got married. I don't know how recently, but I feel like it was recent. And I love your wedding pictures. I was stalking you. Okay. 5. Hannah and I spent time in Israel together. 5, 6. Oh no, the shell. Okay. Okay. There's my 6 eggs. Happily chilling in there. Let me wash my hands. These eggs, oh, I should tell you guys. I mean, I know I tell you every time, but we have new people every time. It's exciting. Okay. These are my favorite eggs. They're my second favorite. I suppose my favorite would be like if I really had a farm nearby and I could just like go get them from the Happy Healthy Chickens. But that, without that, these are my favorite. They're not actually cage-free, which is unfortunate. But cage-free is actually less important to me than what they're being fed. Ideally, the best eggs are pastured, which means that that the chickens are running around like in the grass, eating bugs, you know, getting fresh air and sunlight. But if you don't have access to those, or if you keep kosher and you can only find brown ones and then there's a gazillion blood spots and it's really annoying, I really like these Trader Joe's dark yolk eggs. The feed is really good, and so each egg has about, you know, for these ones, about 10 times as much of the vitamins and minerals as a regular egg. If you can get the awesome pastured ones from like the farmer's market or something, then they'll have 20 times. Can you believe that? Talk about like bang for your buck. Really cool, right? Okay. Almond milk. I even remembered to get it out. This is also not my favorite brand, but that's what I have here right now, so that's okay. But it is a compromise one that I will use, and I'll tell you why. And yes, sometimes I'll make my own, as you know. That's one. And that's about a quarter. Oh, look at that, just right. Oh, it's so annoying. Don't you guys get so annoyed when like the box is like this and they can never get out the last bits? It just irritates me. I hate wasting. Anyways, so unless you want to make it yourself, which I had a recipe actually in here to do, which I do sometimes, but not always. We don't like use enough of it that I care that much about having a super good one. But if you look, see all those ingredients? There's a lot of them. So I prefer when there's less. However, the biggest one that I care about is that it doesn't have carrageenan. Carrageenan is actually has a natural source. It's made from seaweed. So people think like, oh, it's cool, I can have it all the time. But it's very, 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 very rough on the digestive tract. It messes with people's tummies, and for some people it can even like really mess them up to set up for stomach cancer. So not like it equals that, but it can lead to. With a combination of a host of other unfortunate circumstances. Okay, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, I guess I'll measure, but I just love vanilla. I always wind up putting more, is the truth. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, and I think that I did everything I needed to put in. Awesome. Okay, so first, I'm scrambling over here. Scramble, scramble. So I'd probably be a bit faster and better if I just use a fork. Let's see. Let's see how much I can get away with this. It's working. Do you guys have any questions while we're talking about this? I can tell you more about the almond flour. So it's really high in good fats. Really high in, not really high, medium high in protein. But the cake is high in protein because of all the eggs. And so like I was saying before, it just works much better in your system when you're having the sweetness, because the sugar spikes your blood sugar, but the fat and the protein keeps it stable. Okay, now I'm just mixing it all together. Woo. I haven't made a cake like this in so long. We're gonna try and make the frosting now, but someone who shall remain nameless found my coconut milk in the fridge this morning and used it for a smoothie. So I had to go put another one in. I put it in the freezer, and we'll see if it's cold enough now to like do what we need to do. And if not, then we'll just do it like Mexico. I'll just do a whole thing on frosting, which would be fun, right? Frosting is fun. Okay. And look, it looks, I mean, that looks like pretty real cake batter, right? Hey, Hootie. My husband's watching. How fun. Okay. Because, you know, sometimes when you make like with the alternative flours, it really looks very different. It's hot in here, guys, but I had to turn off the AC because it's super loud. Oh, the oven. I'm going to preheat the oven. You should too. 350. Okay. Okay, so that's our batter. Now, if you plan to be doing... Oh, hey! I think my husband is clicking 1,000 buttons the whole time because they're going crazy. And I'm sure you all love me, but maybe not the same amount. Hey, Jenny. Okay, so if you just want to do the strawberry one, then what we would do is we're going to oil our thing like this. See, I'm just oiling it with coconut oil. Oh, snap. No, did I add the coconut oil? Can you guys remind me? Does anyone remember if I added coconut oil? I don't think I did, but maybe I did. I don't think that I did. I strongly think that I did not. It's not working? What's not working? You can't see me? You can't hear me? It's probably your connection because I'm having no problem. Is anyone else having problems? If you're having problems, say. Also, can you tell me if I added coconut oil? Because I don't remember. I really don't think that I did. I think I should add it now. Yeah, I really don't think I did. Okay, we're going to add it now. I just did the almond milk and the eggs. Yeah, I didn't do the coconut oil. I think just the coconut flour. Thanks, Elle. I think you're right. Okay, so it says I have a cup. So I know that half of this jar is about a cup. So I don't want to like make my measuring cup all oily. It's annoying to clean. So I just pour it. I'll do a little less because I feel like it's pretty wet already. I don't know if it really needs it. Okay. Thanks, Elle. You saved the day. Okay. Here we go. I hope it mixes in. We'll let you know. But I mean, I don't know. Whenever I've done this before, it kind of just works. But we'll see. Okay, here we go. And if it's too wet after this, I'm going to add in a little extra coconut flour. Oh no, it's pretty good. It's absorbing it. Want to see? See? Looks pretty good, right? Pleasure. Good. You're hired. You're hired. What's your day rate? To watch my videos and give really helpful feedback. Okay, so here's our batter, which is now even liquidier. If you're just gonna do the strawberry one like the video, I just got cake on my face. Yay. Then you can just pour it in now. But as per my family's request, aka my husband, I mean my kids probably would prefer it with chocolate chips too over strawberries is the truth. They would like it either way, but they're like probably gonna vote for chocolate chips. So now I'm just gonna add chocolate chips like this. If you want, I can tell you a measurement, but honestly, when I add chocolate chips, my goal again, but kind of like with all sweeteners, is to add as little as possible that I can get away with and still having it be really awesome, right? So I want to like look at it and be like, that doesn't look like I skimped, but I also want to like limit the sugar as much as possible, because it's like really the only ingredients in here that I'm not like thrilled about my family having. Everything else, like, I'm totally happy for them to have it. My family, my clients, you, me. Okay, so here we go. See? Actually looks a little thicker now, but I think it's just because it's a little colder. Okay, so here it is. And see how it doesn't like, it's like a cross between like cookie dough and cake batter. It's like in between. So you need to like flatten it, especially, well, you don't have to, but if you want to bake the cake on 2 layers, then flattening it is a good idea. Let's see. Of course, as you know, I won't be doing that because I'm just not gonna. But you totally can. Ooh, okay. Got a little piece falling. Putting it in. I'm gonna be so impressed if the coconut cream is ready for us to make it. Impressed with my freezer? I don't know. Impressed with myself? I'm just going to be grateful. Maybe that's a better word. Grateful that it's ready for us. Okay. So yeah, if you're doing two layers, hey Hannah, then just split it in half. Do one in one tray and one in the other. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. In it goes. See you later, cake. My timer on so I don't forget about it, because otherwise I definitely will. And you probably will too. Okay, now I'm gonna get the stuff for the frosting. Let's see this. You can wish me luck. Wish us luck. And if you live in LA, you can come by and have some of this when it's ready. And I'm not just saying that, I mean it. Just private message me and tell me that you want some and when you can come and you can have some. For a fee. Just kidding. Not for a fee. Just for friends. Okay. Meaning you're all friends. Okay. That's clean. Just making sure. Okay, let me get the coconut cream and see if it's hard enough. Actually feels good. Because coconut is very saturated, it usually actually hardens pretty quickly. So that's awesome. Let's see. Woo! It worked! Amazing! You guys are good luck. Okay. So I'm scraping it out. See, it's hard. Look. It's hard inside. That's what we want. And oh, it's really hard. Really hard. Okay. So we're just gonna scrape out. Oh man. Again. Also, someone's asking like, why do I keep everything dairy free? First of all, some people don't do well on dairy. The truth is that I do okay on it. My older son does okay on it. My little one is better without it, and my husband is better without it. So for me, it's just practical. Also, most of these things I feel like have a really easy swap. Like if you want to make it dairy, you can just... This is kind of getting hard to get out. Let me see if I can find a better way. Maybe I'll pour out the water and then just it'll come in easier. Let's see. Okay, that spilled a lot. But now I can get out this chunk better, I feel. See, it's kind of stuck in there. You know what? If this would have been the kind of can that you open with a can opener, it would be easier. But this was like the pop top, and so it had like a lip. You guys can all enjoy watching me like grunt and sweat over coconut cream. Anyway, so if you want to do this with like regular heavy whipping cream, you can. But I feel like most people kind of would know more how to do that versus less people feel comfortable using coconut. And also, because I don't love using dairy if I can't get good quality. And it's hard to find, one second, just want to make some space. It's hard to find good quality dairy that's kosher. And so that's also a reason I just kind of put a few drops in, that I limit it. Okay, let me get my powdered sugar. Okay, you guys, I can't believe this. I don't think this one's even organic, but it's just the one that I have that my son asked for a while ago. Okay, so I just put in like as little as you can get away with. There you go. Okay, here we go. It takes a while. Okay, I'll make sure it works. Here we go. It's gonna be loud. Ready? Don't give up just because it doesn't work right away, because it takes like a good 2-3 minutes. If you get bored, you don't have to stay. Hey, Sarah, we're making the frosting now. Here we go. Ah! Let's get it back down to the bottom. It's definitely splashing all over me. That's okay. We're making progress, people. We're making progress. Hi! Right, this is good so you know what to expect. I'll tell you. Ooh, it's coming. Look, it's getting there. Almost ready. I used powdered sugar. I just find that all the other like good sweeteners don't really work. Like if you try and use maple, it won't, like the consistency will get messed up. So if you can find just like organic powdered sugar, like you just use so little, I would just use that. And again, because the glycemic index isn't as much about the amount of sugar as much as the ratio of sugar to fat. And because the frosting is pretty much like 99% good fat, a little bit of, you know, organic sugar is going to be fine. With pleasure. Okay, look at that. That looks pretty good to me. I don't know if you can see, but look. Oh, it's still a little cold. It's still A little too cold, honestly. Okay, let's keep going. It's working now. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it is now, oops, my phone battery's getting low, it's telling me. Whoop. Okay, it's now like a frosting consistency. I'll get a knife so you can see. Of course our cake is not ready yet because we put it in about 2 minutes ago. But this knife is not super clean, what can I say? See? Can you see that it looks like frosting? Should I try and spread it on something just so you can see, do I have anything cool to spread it on? Oh yes, okay. So of course, I make these cookies all the time for my family because they love them. I say all the time, I use that term loosely, but I made them recently. So look, you can see me spread it on top. See? Pretty cool, right? Looks like real frosting. Woohoo! Exciting! I think it's exciting. And then you can taste it and be like, is that sweet enough? I think it is. And if you're like, not sweet enough, then you can just be like, cool, and add more powdered sugar. I wouldn't add a bunch too much vanilla because you can't add too much liquid or it'll mess up the consistency. Okay, I have to wash my hands. They're so gross right now. Although, honestly, I've heard some opinions that it whips up better if you add, like, the other stuff after. Like, if you just whip up the cream or the coconut cream and then add in the vanilla and sugar. But, I don't know. I do it both ways. I don't notice a big difference. So, let me grab the phone. Whew, okay. Hope that was super helpful and fun. I'm a little sweaty, sorry. I'm shiny. Shiny with messy hair. Anyways, hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And yes. Oh, I also want to say if you have questions that maybe you don't feel comfortable like posting on the here or in the group, you can always reach out to me privately. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. The power of food is really, really amazing. I've been doing this, not just cooking, but I've been a nutritionist for like 8 years, I think 7.5, 8. And I've helped hundreds of women heal their hormones and get their period back and boost their fertility and get rid of all kinds of indigestion and acne and psoriasis and insomnia. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of things on that list. PMS, like majorly, and cramping and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. Just kidding, not fun at all. What's fun is getting rid of it. So I just like to share that with you because I think it's really inspiring and it's good to know like so many things I feel that we kind of have just accepted as like the status quo for our life as women is really not the status quo. You don't have to live with it and you don't have to medicate for it necessarily. If you're into that, then that's cool, you do you. But if you want to learn how to give your body what it needs so that it just can work properly and not have those things come up, then reach out to me and it'd be my pleasure to help you. And, ooh, I almost forgot. I also want to remind you guys or let you know if you didn't see it that the 10-minute Bomb Diggity Dinners, how fun is that name, course or webinar, online party that I'm teaching is on, it's going to be this Friday. It's $47 for the course. I'm teaching all of like my tips and tricks and strategies of how I get dinner on the table every single day with like 10 minutes. And I'm also doing like a week's worth of recipes. And if you sign up to today or tomorrow before midnight, you're also getting breakfast, protein packed breakfast in under 60 seconds, which is right now going for $67 on the website. So awesome deal if you get in by Wednesday. And once you sign up, if you see that you want me to add something to the menu, like you're like, oh, I love what you have here, but can you add one more thing for me that's my favorite thing? I will be happy to do that for you. So let me know if you have any questions. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.